8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask a question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn over my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take all that. Rise up, take all that. Rise up. Hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Monday edition of the Evening Ketchup. I got a stain on my shirt. How you doing, Gerald B? How you doing, Brenda? Hopefully everything is well in Maine. Today was a busy day running around and sending stuff off. So I ended up sending off those sweet pickled cauliflowers to pre-dawn. Can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. So I brought it up and nobody really went for it, which is fine. But one of the things that me and Riddle love to do, absolutely love to do, is to share some of our canned goods that we make ourselves. You know, because it's just me and her, so we don't have a large extended family, and it's always fun to share. So I'm looking forward to that, and maybe, you know, how he likes it. Obviously, he'll probably say it was the best ever, you know, but I'm always curious on what people like. I was going to send him some salsa that didn't have cilantro in it, but I couldn't find any of the old salsa that we had canned up because we ate it all. And I wanted to give him some ghost pepper salsa, but we ate all that too because it's damn good. It's hot, but it's damn good. So I ended up having to send him some ghost pepper chili instead of the salsa. I did send him some regular salsa, but it has cilantro in it. And he said he likes it in raw salsa, which is pico de gallo, I believe. We'll see how it is in the regular salsa. If you don't like it, that's okay. So that's pretty much my day. Just busy running around. Nothing really fun to report. How you been doing, Gerald? Did you guys have a good weekend? My weekend was filled with canning. We did a lot of canning. We did 3 batches of the sweet pickled cauliflower. We did a regular mild. Actually, I think we might have done 2 milds. I know we did at least 1 ghost pepper batch. And then we did a jalapeno batch, which the jalapeno batch is, I mean, it has a little bit of spice, but it's not nearly enough in my opinion. I think the ghost pepper is much better, personally. And I can't really take really, really spicy food, so for me to say that, it's not horrible. It's enough to it's enough to let you know, right? But it won't kill you. 2 mild, 1 ghost, and 1 jalapeno. Okay, cool. So we did 4 batches. 4 batches. That was pretty cool. And we do a low heat canning method, and that allows it to not cook as much, which will allow you to keep a crispier pickle or a crispier whatever you're pickling. So I use the low heat with actually making pickles as well. And today, or this weekend, was the first time ever we tried doing it with a sous vide machine, because I'd gotten into sous vide, and it goes up to 200 degrees. So we just set it at 190. There's a little bit of a difference in what it says and what it is as far as temperatures go. Anyway, low temp canning is anywhere between 180 and 185 for 30 minutes, and it worked. It worked really well. Username at Texas Antique. My goodness, it has been a minute. No, I'm not in Texas, but I drove through it recently. Kind of. A tip of it. Tip of the panhandle. Really enjoyed the ghost. No, the move's not canceled, but it has been postponed. Finances and everything came up, as it always does. However, if I have to, we could get out of here pretty quick, within a week or less. Easy. And we have places to go. So we're feeling a little bit confident with that. All right. Well, I've already lost one person, or maybe they came back after a second, but let's get to it. Also, my restream chat might not be working too great. So if you're on D-Live and I don't see your comment, Riddle Girl is watching the D-Live stream, so she'll catch me up on that. Yeah, it's working. I was on account Tejas Antigua. Yeah, I was on that account. Texas Antique. Yeah, I was on that account. I just haven't seen, I don't remember seeing you on here for a few days, weeks. Although I was gone for 2 weeks as well, so I mean, there's that. Texas may collapse. Yeah, the Texas, there's a lot going on in Texas. But it's, I don't know. I wasn't moving to Texas for the freedom. If I wanted freedom in a state, I'd stay right where I'm at. Arizona has some of the best freedom-loving laws that you could want, right? It's got constitutional carry. It's got recreational marijuana. Texas has permitless carry, which is a step in the right direction, but it's not constitutional carry. And you still, I think it's only medical for marijuana there. So I'm not moving to Texas for the freedoms. I'm moving to Texas, or if I move to Texas, it'll be for the family and the friends that are close by. Because right now in Arizona, we have a couple friends, but we don't have any family at all. So just a tip, Riddle. But I agree, Texas is not looking great right now. Tomorrow's another. Fauci continues to defend NIH funding of gain-of-function research. Wait a minute. I was pretty sure that he said that they did not. do any gain of function research. So if he's now defending something that he said under oath in front of Congress that wasn't happening, doesn't that mean he just admitted to lying to Congress under oath? I don't know. Let's find out. Continue to deny that the National Institute of Health funded gain of function research in Wuhan. Okay, so he's denying that they did it. Despite the NIH own admission. Yeah, remember that song by Shaggy, It Wasn't Me? He continues to deny NIH funded gain of function, despite NIH own admission that EcoHealth Alliance used its grant money to conduct risky bat sniffle research. During an interview with ABC News this weekend, Fauci was asked about a demand from Senator Rand Paul that he be fired for lying to Congress about NIH funding. I obviously totally disagree with Senator Paul, Fauci said. He's absolutely incorrect. Neither I nor Dr. Francis Collins, the director of NIH, lied or misled about what we've done, he continued. It's not correct that we've lied or misled the Congress. Is it not? Did you say that you didn't do it and now it comes out that you did? I mean, you might call it something else, right? You're not calling it gain of function, technically, but you used your grant money to help the research of it, which is layman's term sounds like gain of function. Collins, the NIH director, recently announced his plan to step down amid the growing criticism and scrutiny, but Fauci has made clear he plans to do no such thing. He's going down with the ship. Good to hear. I hope they crucify you. Lawrence Tebeck, the NIH principal deputy director, admitted in a letter this week that EcoHealth Alliance, which receives millions of dollars in NIH funding, violated grant rules by conducting an experiment on laboratory mice infected with the SHCO14 W1V1 bat sniffle. These mice became sicker than those infected with the 1V1, which means the research qualifies as gain of function. So they had one, right? That was the W1V1 or the SHC014. And that was better than the one they had originally. Gain of function. Fauci defended his research by EcoHealth Alliance, arguing that it did not fit the technical definition of gain of function, even if it did appear to make sniffles more deadly. You're trying to make something worse than it was. The framework under which we have guidance about the conduct of research that we fund, the funding at the Wuhan Institute, was able to determine what is out there in the environment in bat sniffles in China, he said. Oh, okay. And the research was very strictly under what we call a framework of oversight. Well, I would imagine it's very hard for a virus that a bat has to be communicated to a human without some manipulation. It's just my personal opinion. I have no experience in such matters, but, you know, I do read the news here and there. Mule Team's in the house. What's up, Mule? I'll get to you in a sec. And under those conditions, which we have explained very, very clearly, does not constitute research of gain of function of concern. Fauci has defended Wuhan's risky sniffle research several times, claiming that it was absolutely necessary, even if it might have led to a lab leak. In May, he claimed it would have been dereliction of our duty if the NIH had not funded this research. I'm sure it would. Perjury. Yeah. But it doesn't meet all the definitions, apparently. Yeah, we made it more deadly, but, you know, it wasn't for that. It was for something else, I guess. Yeah. What's up, Mule? Glad to see you on. I hope you had a good weekend. Staying free as you can in Illinois. I was so glad to get out of that. And if Fauci hasn't done enough, apparently he has done cruel experiments on puppies. Irish had a good rant this morning, didn't he? Yeah. Oh my God. So Irish, I get in there. I'm tired. I just woke up. I'm getting my daily coffee, and he's already just going off on a whole bunch of stuff. I don't even remember all about what it was. It was a good rant though. So if you like a good rant from Irish USMC vet, go check out at least I think it's like the first 5 or 10 minutes of the morning muster that happened this morning. It was pretty good. Anthony Fauci is facing pressure for answers after it was discovered that the National Institute of Health may have funded research involving cruel treatment of several dogs. The information was uncovered by a bipartisan watchdog group called the White Coat Waste Project via Freedom of Information Act request. White Coat Waste found that the U.S. government had granted money to a Taiwanesian? I don't think it's Taiwanesian. Tunson Laboratory that had made experiments on beagle puppies. Representative Nancy Mace and 23 other congressmen addressed the Fauci-run National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases in a letter this week expressing grave concerns about the reports of costly, cruel, and unnecessary taxpayer-funded experiments on dogs. Now, we read a story about newly aborted fetuses that were being used in the shots, and I still don't know if that was legit or not. I kind of regret even reading it, to be honest, because the last thing I want to do is give you guys a conspiracy theory without any kind of backing on it at all. And that's kind of how I felt with that story. I think we read that on Friday. According to documents obtained by a Freedom of Information Act request by watchdog group White Coast Waste Project, NIAID spent $1.68 million in taxpayer funds on drug tests involving 44 beagle puppies. The dogs were all between 6 and 8 months old. The commission test involved injecting and force-feeding the puppies an experimental drug for several weeks before killing and dissecting them. There are further reports of the dogs being locked in cages with hungry sand fleas so the insects could eat them alive and have their vocal cords removed so they were unable to bark. The cruel procedure, which is opposed with rare exceptions by the American Veterinary Medical Association, the American Animal Hospital Association, and others, seems to have been performed so that the experimenters would not have to listen to the pain cries of the beagle puppies. This is reprehensible misuse of taxpayer funds. Fauci has not responded to the letter officially as of this writing. Wow. Damn. What's up, RG Homestead? How are you doing? I'm doing well. We had a very productive weekend, which always makes me feel good about stuff. Fauci is done. I saw the papers he wrote in the 90s. Spanish flu deaths were also caused by bacterial pneumonia from dirty masks. Well, he was against them before he was for them, talking about the things you put over your face. Also, defibrillator caused many deaths. Yeah. Well, I mean, no matter what, if you get put on a oxygen tube, the chances of you getting off of that, the ventilator, are pretty low. No matter what you have. No matter what you have. That's not entirely true. The Spanish flu of 1918 is the same common flu that we have today. The scientists back in the day thought it was caused by bacteria, but it wasn't. Ooh, that would be a fun little deep dive. Virus. It was caused by a virus, and the vaccine they came up with and forced on the people with the bacteria didn't do anything. It caused harm to many. Vaccines. I don't know. I'm sure there's been a vaccine that's helped. I'm sure there has. But the more that they put out and the more that you learn about this stuff, the less, at least for me, the less I want to put anything foreign in myself. From the 90s, out of his mouth, man caused deaths were from mass dirty, filthy mask. I've seen some people, especially like the homeless people around me. I don't know about you guys, but in Phoenix, it's an epidemic. It's everywhere. You stop your car. Don't even have to get out. They'll come to your door while you're at a stoplight. If you stop your car, there's a good chance, 80%-ish, that you're going to be asked for money. one way or the other. Pumping gas, getting out to go into a grocery store, getting back into your car from going to a grocery store, stoplights, any intersection, you name it. All right. Those people have some of the rattiest masks I've ever seen in my life. So I don't know. Zudak. What's up, Zudak? I was reminded that I need to check your channel out. I've heard a lot of outrage on the animal testing story, but is anyone saying the laws are being broken? Sounds like being cruel to animals, but I don't know the law. I treat animals rather well. Well, according to the story, the cruel procedure, which is opposed with rare exceptions, so I don't see anything against the law. You know, American Veterinary Medical Association and the Animal Hospital Association are up in arms. Where's PETA? Don't know. But, you know, American people, American normies, I'm going to call them normies, they're going to hate that shit. And that's a lot more believable and obviously on a site that I trust to have happened. So, is it against the law? I don't know. I don't think so. Is it against like morality? Yeah, especially if you caused it so that they couldn't bark, just so that you couldn't hear their whines and cries of pain and misery. That's disturbing. PETA is only worried about animals getting eaten. Okay, well, they didn't eat them, so I mean, there's that. We got bums for the first time. They're illegals. See, that's nice about Texas. You guys don't have that many. I don't know where in Texas you are, but I would imagine in the cities it's just as bad there as it is here. Out in the country, it ain't a big deal. It's usually meth heads. A hearing may settle use of force experts at Rittenhouse's trial. So Rittenhouse's trial is gearing up. You guys ready for this? A judge may decide at a hearing Monday whether the use of force experts can testify at Kyle Rittenhouse's trial for shooting 3 people during a race riot. Really? I hope he decides to use it. The hearing is likely to last before Rittenhouse goes to trial November 1st for the shootings that came. Yeah, we all know that. The riots encouraged many. Rittenhouse attorneys are seeking testimony from the use of force expert John Black to bolster their claims that Rittenhouse acted in self-defense. Prosecutors have asked Judge Bruce Schroeder to disqualify Black, arguing that his expertise is in police, not civilian use of force, and is not relevant to Rittenhouse's action. Why is it not relevant? If it's okay for the police, is it not okay for the American citizen? Interesting, because you think it would be. The police aren't supposed to be above the law. They have to uphold to the same use of force stuff that any of us would have to do. Why are they trying to elevate the police to have more of a reason to have use of force? Interesting. I am free wherever I stand. This is either going to be an epic alley good or epic alley bad. Everything goes bad these days. Yeah, everything goes bad. They're trekking up north. Rent is super high. Yeah, they're collecting money. They're moving. Then moving. Huh. Well, as long as they're moving, ours stick around. I don't know how they do it in the summer. And some people like that live in the colder cities, I don't know what they do in the winter. Here, I mean, you're just really hot. You get under a shade and try to keep cool. In the cold, you can die in the heat too, but anyway. Black previewed his testimony in a hearing in early October. Monday's hearing will include testimony from Robert Willis, a use of force expert whom Assistant District Attorney Thomas Binger had said he will use if Black is allowed to testify. So I guess the prosecution has somebody to testify as well. Other motions remain for Schroeder to decide before trial. One from prosecutors asked Schroeder to forbid defense attorneys from describing the 3 men Rittenhouse shot as rioters, looters, or arsonists, because they weren't doing any of those 3 things. Bringer argues there's no proof of any of these 3 were engaged in such activity the night they were shot. Prosecutors also want Schroeder to block any reference to Rosenbaum or Herber's criminal records. Bullshit. Now that shows what kind of character they were. That's some bullshit. They're also seeking to stop the defense from introducing any evidence that police offered water to Rittenhouse and other armed citizens, or that they said, "We appreciate you guys, we really do." Well, if they, this is going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be a fight. Rittenhouse's attorney, Mark Richard, argued that such testimony is relevant to whether Rittenhouse was acting recklessly by being on the streets of Kenosha with a weapon that night. If the conduct was so obviously dangerous, it seemed logical that law enforcement would have either removed the defendant from the situation via arrest or informed that he was supposed to leave the area because of his actions. Richards wrote in a motion they did neither. Many conservatives have flocked to support Rittenhouse, calling him a patriot, making him a symbol for gun rights, and raising $2 million for his bail. I don't think he's the symbol for gun rights. I think he put himself into a bad situation, and I think he handled it really well. I mean, he didn't shoot anybody else. I don't even think he missed. And the reaction time that he had, especially when the one guy pulled a gun on him and he blew his bicep off, a little bit longer, he would have been dead. Guarantee it. I'm going to have a brutal winter. When it's warm this late in October, it could till April. It might. The truth will set you free. Yeah, but if you speak the truth, you go into either YouTube jail, actual jail, Facebook jail, Twitter jail. And that's why I'm free regardless of where I am. Exactly. You got to free your mind. Live free is more in your own head than it is where you're at. Guarantee it. At the same time, Illinois is not on my list of places to move for obvious reasons, right? Yeah, if I moved there and I lived there, I would still do the same things I'm doing here, but things have to change, right? You got to do it a little differently. Stuff like that. Not admitting to anything. Don Jr. rips fake news Washington Post for embarrassing Let's Go Brandon correction. I don't know anything about this, but hey, who doesn't like a good Let's Go Brandon story? Let's see. Is it been appropriately called out Donald Jr. in a tweet responding to a recent article which discussed the popular Let's Go Brandon chant, 100% effed up, reported. This is the greatest correction in history of journalism. News outlet shows why the interesting corrections has been appropriately called out by Donald Trump. Yeah. Ashley Parker, reporter for the Washington Post, claimed that the popular chant has been spread by none other than Donald Trump himself. The chant, which went unintentionally viral, comes from a gaffe. We already know where that comes. Trump's team did start taking advantage of the meme, selling shirts and other merchandise. Trump Jr. has also gotten in the fun, speaking at a Georgia rally in September. There's a couple of other chants I've been hearing going around, Trump Jr. said. Have you heard the one that's been going around? The crowd took the cue and broke into cries of, "Fuck Joe Biden." However, in small italics at the bottom of the article, there is a correction. Okay? Correction. A previous version of this article incorrectly said that a crowd broke into a Let's Go Brandon chant during a Trump Jr. speech in Georgia. The crowd broke into an F Joe Biden chant at the speech. The error, which was inserted by the editor, has been corrected. So they started with "fuck Joe Biden," and then he asked, "Do you know of any other good chants?" And then he started in the "Let's Go Brandon," I'm guessing? Probably. Let's go Brandon. You gotta hate it if your name is Brandon. Like, what about parents who have kids in sports and their name is Brandon? How do you root for your kid to do well? I don't know. It's funny though. Actually, was it I knew? Yeah. McAulife's big lie. Virginia Dems claim that Stacey Abrams won the Georgia governorship. So now they're taking into the whole the votes weren't counted correctly, I guess, the Dems. Okay, so that's great. That's great. Let's have another recount. Why not? Let's just always do recounts. This is how democracy works now. Virginia Democratic gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe falsely claimed this weekend that the failed candidate Stacey Abrams won the 2018 Georgia gubernatorial election, accusing Georgia Governor Brian Kemp of disenfranchising more than 1 million Georgia voters. She would be the governor of Georgia today had the governor of Georgia not disenfranchised 1.4 million Georgian voters before the election, McAuliffe said, as he introduced Abrams at the campaign event on Sunday. That's what's happened to Stacey Abrams. They took the votes away. We're getting into dangerous territory on both sides. When both sides are going off, the other side has done something illegal with votes. McAuliffe has pandered to and repeated Abrams' election truthism multiple times. Earlier this month, when Abrams was first beginning campaigning for him in Virginia, McAuliffe nodded along us as Abrams claimed she won the 2018 gubernatorial race. You see, I'm here to tell you that just because you win doesn't mean you've won, Abrams declared as McAuliffe nodded in the background. I come from a state where I was not entitled to become the governor, but as an American citizen and as a citizen of Georgia, I'm going to fight for every person who has the right to vote to be able to cast that vote. Here in Virginia, you need to cast that vote for Terry McAuliffe. In May of 2020, McAuliffe alleged that powerful voting machine companies skewed. Great, we got another person saying it. YouTube, I am not saying it, but apparently this Democrat in Virginia is claiming it. So take it up with him. He also argued the 2000 and 2004 elections were stolen. Remember the hanging chads with Florida? Glenn Youngkin, McAuliffe's Republican opponent, slammed McAuliffe's election lies and said it was obvious McAuliffe will claim the gubernatorial race was stolen from him if he loses to Youngkin, even though Democrats in the state currently control all the mechanisms of power and have implemented policy changes, including extended mail-in voting, that have made it easier to do unsavory things. McAuliffe's continued claims that multiple elections were stolen raises serious doubts about whether he'll accept his own impending defeat and concede when he loses to Glenn Youngkin. Other Republicans have pointed out that while Democrats such as McAuliffe and Abrams are allowed to question the integrity of our elections as much as he wants, conservatives who do the same, such as President Trump, are punished by big tech. Yes, I'm not allowed to talk about the 2020 presidential election, but I'm sure I'm allowed to talk about McAuliffe and his claims that it was stolen from him. You gotta love that. Yeah. What's up, Patriot Rooster? How you doing? All the Brandons need a new nickname. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I mean, if you want to go to a high school sporting thing and you have a kid named Brandon and you don't like the whole "Let's Go Brandon" chant, now if you like it, obviously you're gonna make more merch. Everybody gonna be wearing your son's jersey. Everybody's gonna be telling them to "Let's go," right? But if you don't like that, you don't want that on there, yeah, you might just call him Brad. Let's go, Brad. Maybe. No, you're fine, Patriot Rooster. I get it. Everybody's got a time schedule. So thank you for being here, though. I really do appreciate it. And everybody who doesn't show up, if you're watching this on the replay, man, thank you very much for watching it on the replay. Don't forget to leave a comment, too, because I do like to know when people catch it on the replay. Messing around and losing track of time. No, it's all good. I'm good, brother. How's everyone tonight? I'm doing all right. Had a busy, well, not a busy day. Just driving around town, dealing with a lot of homeless people while I try to get shit done. But I this weekend was good. We did a lot of canning I already talked about, but then I had to do some running around and had to go to the bank. I sent out some canned goods that we made this weekend to my friend Predon Death. And on Friday I brought it up that would be something I'd be willing to do if people would like it. And if you're one of these people that think you might like it, hit me up in the Discord. Or my Discord link is down in the descriptions below. But if you're interested, hit me up in the Discord, private message me, or just general chat me in Discord. But if you're interested in trying some of the stuff that we can up, I'm not trying to make any profit out of it. All I need is basic shipping and the replacement of the jar cost. But I'd be willing to do that relatively cheap. Pre-dawn paid for the shipping, and I don't know. We don't get to share our canned foods with a lot of people. So we did like 4 batches of sweet pickled cauliflower, and it was really good. So yeah, DeSantis is offering a $5,000 bonus for police officers looking to move to Florida. A sign-on bonus, if you will. Hey, all you people in Washington. Hey, all you cops in Illinois. You still want to be a police officer? Well, come on down to Florida. We'll give you a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's good. DeSantis offered police officers in state where they face sniffle shot mandates $5,000 to relocate to his state. In Florida, not only we're going to want to protect the law enforcement and all the jobs, we're actively working to recruit out-of-state law enforcement because we do have needs in our police and sheriff's department. The Republican said its plans to introduce and sign new legislation offering out-of-state police officers the bonus to relocate if they've been threatened with termination due to the mandates. He also slammed President Biden for pressuring big business and state officials to mandate the shots. According to the mandates, have vilified essential workers that were hailed as heroes just months ago. Yeah, all those nurses that went to work every single day without a shot to take, putting their life on the line because it's so damn deadly out there. It's horrible deadly. I mean, how many millions of people have died from this thing? These people went into the frickin' trenches to help where they could. And now, because they've done their own research and they've decided it wasn't for them, you're now calling them the problem and firing them and making it so that they can't collect unemployment. Class act. These people are held as heroes. The nurses we've said have been heroes the whole time they've been working day and night. They couldn't do their job on Zoom. They had to be there for it, and they did it with honor and integrity. Biden's attempt to force shots among American workers is unconstitutional, he said, adding that it is also wreaking economic havoc on several industries, especially the medical, law enforcement, and transportation industries. One thing that I noticed too, remember we'd been talking about the $600 thing in your bank account. So every time you withdraw $600 or more than $600, and every time you deposit more than $600, if it's probably not your paycheck deposit, they're going to ping, the agency, the alphabet agency or whatever, and look into you, make sure you're not doing anything illegal, make sure you're paying all your taxes. What happens when $600 only buys you a loaf of bread? With the economy the way it's going and inflation's going the way it's going, $600 is going to be like $20 here pretty soon. This is not the first time DeSantis has invited law enforcement officials from around the country to move to Florida. This past summer, when several leftist cities were pushing to defund local police departments, he urged police officers to move to Florida, vowing to value them and pay them well. If you have a chance to do law enforcement in Florida versus some of these other jurisdictions, you're much better off in Florida because we actually stand by law enforcement, he said. Interesting. In hindsight, being named Brandon might be good. Your fan base probably just... yeah, exactly. Everybody's buying your jerseys up, right? It's a real morale boost. Stay stuck on that discussion. No, you're fine. I've been thinking about it too. We need to get jerseys made. Maybe that's some merch that I could do. Mainstream media colluded suspiciously on coordinated Facebook attack. Recent emergence of a so-called whistleblower against Facebook raised many questions as it answered. After Frances Haugen was revealed to maintain strong ties to several deep state and left-wing activist firms, her motives came under suspicion, as did those of the outlets prompting her. Yeah, she was not a whistleblower. She was an insider who was told to act as a whistleblower, in my opinion. Some have openly speculated that Hahn may be a false flag plant pushed by Facebook to shift scrutiny more towards an industry-wide regulation, which would do more harm than the company's smaller U.S.-based competitors, and less towards breaking up the social media giant's monopoly stranglehold on web traffic. Democrats, too, may be on the con, eager to collude with Facebook in codifying pro-censorship policies that largely target conservatives under the guise of hate speech. The new push comes on the heels of an announcement that former President Trump plans to launch a new media company that will include a social media component likely to be embraced by those alienated by woke Silicon Valley companies. But feckless mainstream media companies who have functioned during the Biden administration as de facto propaganda mouthpieces, even to the point of encouraging the censorship of other rival outlets, also have a role to play. Oh, yeah, you look at them go after Gab. And what was the other one? I forget. On Monday, a coalition of more than a dozen legacy outlets rolled out what they're calling the Facebook Papers, suggesting a coordinated push to impose new scrutiny on the company. Given the tech companies like Facebook, Twitter, and Google have affected the destruction of media business models, all but eradicating traditional print newspaper and advertising revenue that came with them, such companies may indeed have their own axe to grind. Nonetheless, bombshells likely to be pushed in days to come should be approached with caution, under the assumption that these media are part of the Potemkin scheme to appear as if they're holding Facebook to account for its sins, only ensuring that the company faces no serious consequence in the long term. AP offered the following report by way of woke-splaining its purpose in pushing the series. Huh. Woke-splaining. I'm not going to read that part. Oh, I totally skipped over a couple stories. Totally skipped over a couple. All right. This was actually going to be my first one. We got two different versions of this story, so if we don't get enough of it on this one, we'll go to the next one. In hindsight, yeah. Well, them cops in the northern states have now a shot at a job in a warmer area. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been in Florida during the humid parts, but I would imagine it's pretty damn humid. Would love to go to Florida. Would love to visit Florida. I'd love to go to Louisiana too and visit that. I've been to the South. I've been through Louisiana, but I've never been to New Orleans. I've been through Georgia. I've been through Mississippi as a truck driver, but never got any time to stop off and look around. So I'd love to do that. What's up, Anonymous American? Hey, you made it. Government regulates big tech companies to break up. They will never stop regulating it, like phone service, TV, radio, transmission. In my opinion, they will never reform Section 230 back to where it's supposed to be. Like, this is supposed to be a town square. Okay? I'm supposed to be able to say pretty much anything I would be able to say constitutionally. If it's freedom of speech, then this being the town square, I should be able to say anything that is protected by the Constitution, which is pretty much everything except for threats against other people. All right? As long as I'm not threatening anybody, I should be good to go on this platform because this is a town square. It doesn't work that way. Will they ever make it a town square where I can say whatever I want to say? No, they won't. Why won't they? Because Google is in your government. Google is in your Defense Department. Google is in your planes. Google guides your missiles. Google helps all of your agencies, your military, everything. You break up Google, they're going to have some problems with that. And all of a sudden, your shit just might not work. In fact, it's just my opinion. I don't think we're the United States of America. I don't think we've been that for a long time. Obviously, I think we were a corporation. However, I think Google is more in control of this country than the President of the United States. Whoever you think that is. Two people killed, 4 injured in a shooting at a Boise mall. Suspect is in custody. Boise police have confirmed that 2 people were killed and 4 others were injured, including a police officer, in a shooting at Boise Town Square Mall on Monday afternoon. At a news conference, Boise Police Department Chief Ryan Lee said Boise police officer was among the injured and stressed that the investigation was ongoing. Lee said the suspect in the shooting is in police custody. Neither the suspect nor any of the victims have been publicly identified. According to Lee, officers responded to reports of shots fired at the mall on North Milwaukee Street around 1:50 p.m. Monday. He said that the events took place inside and outside the mall, although he did not say exactly where these events happened or the relation to the shooting. Shortly after responding on scene, officers entered encountered an individual matching the suspect's description, and there was an exchange of gunfire that ensued shortly thereafter, resulting in the officer's injury as well as the suspect being taken into custody. Lee said Ada County Critical Incident Task Force will be investigating the officer-involved part of the case, but Boise police will investigate other aspects of the shooting. Lee said Boise police were still working to clear the mall and contact the families of the injured and deceased. He declined to answer specific questions about the incident, citing the investigation into an officer-involved aspect. Can't stress enough how traumatic this event is for the community at large, as well as those who witnessed it, or the families of those involved or involved themselves. Boise Mayor Lauren McLean also spoke at the news conference, since she extends thanks to first responders and mall employees. Yep. Governor Brad Little said in a statement on Twitter that the state was prepared to assist Boise police in its investigation, and the Ada County Coroner Office said in a news release Monday that it was responding to the situation and expected to have updates on Thursday. And this is the same one, basically, but a different thing. Yeah, same thing. Quarter mile away, officers closed part of the road near a busy intersection so they can investigate a second crime scene related to the shooting incident. Officers at the second crime scene declined to answer questions about the investigation, other than to confirm it was related to the shooting investigation. Sherry Jippin of Boise was in the mall with a friend where they walked for an hour 3 or 4 times a week. She said she heard several large bangs, but thought something had fallen from the ceiling. About 60 people, including families pushing strollers, came running at them, some of them shouting that there was an active shooter. Yeah. All right, so that's that one. What's up, Bikes? How you doing? Last thing we need is more government oversight, and definitely not online. Exactly. It's supposed to be a town square. It was when YouTube first came around, or even in 2011 when I switched my channel over to like gun and stuff related topics. I could show you anything, pretty much anything that wasn't legal. I mean, that wasn't illegal, right? I couldn't go off on a tirade and say that I was going to kill somebody. You know, that would be threatening. But I could show you my firearms. I could show you me shooting them. I could show you how I put them together. I could show you all these things that you're legally able to do as a law-abiding citizen. Not anymore. Most of my, I think the Kansas and Friends build is still up, right? But there was another video series that I had done building an AR-15. They've removed a lot of those videos. They've removed all the bump stock videos, right? Which was perfectly legal when I bought it. Perfectly fine to be on their servers until it wasn't. Thank you, Trump. Thousands of workers march across the Brooklyn Bridge in New York, protesting mandates. Thousands of workers and protesters marched across the Brooklyn Bridge on Monday, protesting the mandate that could lead to thousands of people being suspended without pay. Many who marched in the March for Choice said that they were not against shots, but against the mandate. This is not following the science. It's like totalitarianism. Retired FDNY Lieutenant James Finnegan told the news outlet. Most of Finnegan's rage was directed at Mayor Bill de Blasio. He doesn't remember that when it started a year and a half ago, we worked through it all. I got my family sick, Finnegan added. The mandate means that currently roughly 160,000 city workers must at least get one shot before Friday or risk going on unpaid leave. One firefighter, Sophia Medina, decried the mandate once the protests reached City Hall. Now, after countless of emergencies, Hurricane Sandy, the snowstorms, I am under threat. We are under threat of losing our livelihood for simply retaining the choice of protecting our bodies. On Monday, de Blasio issued a statement defending the mandate while mentioning that contingency plans were in place to prevent interruptions in services. Well, you better hope so. Every commissioner and their team has talked through different options. Obviously, de Blasio said, use of overtime is an example. I've talked to all the relevant commissioners in the lead up, especially the most crucial operational agencies, and every one of them said that they were confident this is the right thing to do. It's totally the right thing to do. Why wouldn't you do it? You should even check to see if they've gotten the sniffles prior to that, because just because they have natural immunity, that doesn't mean that they need the best. So you got to get that jab, man. Get that jab and be all right. Live forever. Pretty much it. Fun fact, a few major companies own media and telecommunications, except no small cell phone companies can build here without government approval. Why we have only a handful to choose from, unlike South Korea. Huh. How many cell phone companies are in South Korea? A few major companies own media. Yeah, I know that. There's like 5 companies that own all the news and media in America, or all the main ones. Small cell phone companies can build here without government approval. Why we only have a handful to choose from, unlike South Korea. All right, and why is it so expensive? South Korea is more of a free market, and they have a healthy competition environment with communications and fiber optic internet nationwide. While in the U.S., we are way behind due to our regulation. Yeah. Every micro step in America has to be approved. Well, there's some things I'm glad that they approved. There are like things you can buy in America to consume, as eating or drinking, that is illegal in other places because of the ingredients put into it. Like soda, some sodas are illegal in a lot of countries. Mountain Dew, I know it's one because we tried to send some to Sweden once. And apparently, some of those things are illegal. So, interesting though. What's good for you, what's not. Personally, I think you should make that decision, but there's a lot of people out there that don't want to have to do their own research. You say you should do your own research. I'm not getting the jab because I don't want the jab, but for you, you should do your own research. I've already done my research. You should do yours. People don't want to do their own research. They want to subscribe to somebody that they like, right? Somebody usually with a bigger channel. I don't know why it is, but they're like, oh, he only got a few thousand subs. He can't be that good, or he'd be even better, right? So they find like a prepping channel, and they look for the top prepping channels, and they watch a few of them, probably 5 or 6 of them, right? And then they find that they're watching one more than the others, and that becomes their go-to guy. And whatever that guy says must be true. Must be true. Why? Because they've already given up complete control to that person's thought. That person doesn't know they even exist. All right, most of the time, because they have millions of subscribers, so it's not like they even know who you are. But you're going to take his word over something because you've already decided that because of other videos that you watched and liked, that now everything he says is gold. People don't like to do their own research. They don't want to do their own research. The research that they want to do is they want to find somebody who already did the research and then follow that person's research without doing any research of their own. I know because this is something in my own personality that I've acknowledged and have addressed. But that's my opinion on that. Do your own research. It's time consuming. It's painstaking. But it's the only way that you'll make sure that you're not led astray by somebody else's opinion on something, especially if they're not a medical doctor or anything like that. That's why I try not to say that I give you medical advice. I have very strong opinions about the stuff that they're trying to put in you, as I think everybody should have, because at the end of the day, if you're a free man, don't you think you should be able to decide what you put in your body? I'm not going to force anybody to start drinking alcohol. I'm not going to force anybody to quit smoking, right? Don't force anybody to do anything they don't want to do. All you need as far as law in America, the only thing you need is a do unto others as you would have done unto you. That's it. It's the golden rule. That's the only law you need in a free society. In a free society, don't screw anybody over or you're going to be in trouble. right? Have whatever you want, do whatever you want, as long as you're not damaging anybody's property or themselves or taking away their freedoms. It's easy. It's simple. It's free. We'll never see it. Not here anyway. Hashtag my body, my choice. I love it that we repurposed that hashtag too. That's hilarious. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you. We do have 9 minutes, so if you have anything you want to talk about, now is the time. I'm going to start my whole spiel about all the descriptions down below. But if there's any stories you guys have been talking about, or what's going on in your world, Anonymous, how you doing? How's it going in Ohio? Bikes, you still in Vegas? You planning to move out towards Tony, right? The last time I heard. I know Predon's thinking about moving down to Texas at some point. Nothing real soon. And Zudak, I need to check you out more. You don't talk a lot, but I heard that you have a channel that I want to check out. I need to do that more often too. People that come into my chat, I need to hang out with them more often. Or at least check to see if they have a channel. All right, so down below we have descriptions. If this is the first time you're watching my channel, congratulations, you found it. It's amazing. And if you like this content, down below we have all the ways you can follow me on all the different social medias. We do get strikes here once in a while because every once in a while, apparently I give out medical advice without knowing it. So check out all the places to follow me. Check out, oh, you must have been talking about somebody else, Riddle, but I'm still going to do it.
Zeus.
Oh, is it Zeus?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll even ring your bell. I'm still subscribing to everybody who's in here. If I'm not subscribed to you, please let me know and I'll do that. It's the least that I can do. Let's see. Human practical application rules over imagination every time. That was well said. So all the places to follow me down below. If you want to donate to the channel, believe me, I don't ask. But if you want to, there are ways to do it down below. We used to be monetized. We used to be monetized. I have no longer monetized. I will apply for it eventually again, but I don't hold out a lot of hope. But when we were monetized, we bring in about $100 every 2 months or so. And I like to donate 50% of all proceeds this channel makes to Rally Point Irish. You can find Rally Point Irish in the causes I believe in and support. That's the first set of links. And that's my good friend Irish USMC vet, who is trying to start up a location in Tennessee where vets can stay and live room and board free while learning new skills like farming, blacksmithing, gunsmithing, etc. to get them back into the workforce. And I want to see that done. So I donate 50% of all income to this channel to that cause. Just so that you know, if you decide to donate, 50% will go to Rally Point Irish. Other causes I believe in and support is the PH Association. That is a disease that I currently live with and am dying of. I don't know how long I have it. One doctor says 20 years, so probably nothing anytime real soon. Then we have the GOA and ProjectRecover.org. ProjectRecover.org is an organization that goes out and looks for lost service members and returns their remains to their families. So I do support that one as well. Other than that, we have some affiliate links down below of things I've actually bought and used and like. And my favorite one down there right now has got to be that doormat, the Comeback with a Warrant doormat. Anyway, so those are all those things. I do plan this week, I am going to be putting up the video of the sweet pickled cauliflower recipe. So just because you don't want to buy it from me or you know, send me the money to ship it to you, maybe you're into canning yourself. Canning is really easy to get into. It's really cheap. Water bath canning anyway. And that's good for most of your veggies and pickles. Now, if you want to can meat or beans or other things like that, you're going to need to get a pressure canner. That you can get into some money. We got an all-American pressure canner, and it was like around $300, $350. And I need to get a bigger one because the one we have it does 7 quarts or 14 pints, and I'd like the one that does 14 quarts because we do a lot of canning. It's a lot of process to only get 7 quarts out of it. It'd be a lot better if I do the same process, but I get double the amount. And I'll probably keep the one that we have unless we sell it in order to buy the new one. I don't know. We'll see. So get into canning, and the sweet pickle cauliflower, when I do have that up, you can get into that and do that yourself if that's something that interests you. We use a tamale pot for our water bath canning. So as long as it's just it can be a big stock pot even, as long as it has a, what do you call it, like a steaming tray that goes down. So you don't want the jar sitting on the bottom of the pot, right? You want it to be off the bottom of the pot, not directly on the heat. So if you get a steaming pot or anything like that, you can do it. We did ours this last weekend, sous vide. Didn't have to worry about not putting them on the bottom of the pan at that time because I was using a machine to heat the water and not a fire to heat the water. And we did a low heat canning thing. And that's where you do it between 180 and 185 for a half an hour, and keeps your pickles crispier and crunchier. So I got a lot of things that I could really talk about when it comes to canning on video. Making a video that not a billion other people have made, though, and also I like to trip over my own words a lot of the times, or over-explain or under-explain. So I'm not really sure how great these videos will be, but there is no sweet pickled cauliflower recipes on YouTube that I have ever found, and I have looked. I did find one recipe, and that's the recipe we use, but that was on Google, I believe. And it's not a video form. Yeah. Well, you don't have to give it out. I want them to watch the video at least. So I'm going to be working on this week. I hope to have it up by Friday. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Check out the links that I've already talked about if you don't mind. I will be back tomorrow morning on the Morning Muster over on Irish USMC Vets channel. And I'll see you guys here tomorrow for the evening catch-up afterwards. Oh, by the way, I think he's going to be changing the name of the Morning Muster. So that'll be kind of cool. We'll keep our name here because it's still me catching up on the day's events. And it just kind of worked out with the muster versus the catch-up. So, all right, guys, until I see you tomorrow, make sure to keep that family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can in the tyrannical world we find ourselves living in today. And live free as you can. What's he changing it to? The shit show. When you publish them, I'm going to be watching. I want to get into canning. My in-laws did it for us. It's super easy. Yeah, Irish's book club. He was asking me what book I want to read first, and I didn't know. I was kind of done with the chat. I'll have to come up with one that he caught me off guard on that one. I'll have to come up with one and tell him. Yeah, the shit show. Canning, as I said, super easy. Tamale pot. Jars. Lids. Get one of those kits that have the jar grabber. It also has like a weird stick thing that you're supposed to use to get the bubbles out and measure headspace and all that. Yeah. Just get one of those kits. Get some canning and pickling salt if you're going to be doing pickles. It's really cheap. It's really good. I use it a lot, especially with sauerkraut. And if you want to do fermentation, which I love doing fermentation, get the pickle pebbles and the pickle pipes. Do we have that affiliate link? Because we should have the pickle pebbles and pipes in the affiliates. I pump that so much. Yeah, give me another link, Riddle. I'm gonna put that in tonight. All right, that's it. I'm out. Thank you very much for being here. I will see you again tomorrow evening. Peace.